no question. What's up, everyone? Man, all I know, Cameron Curtis, first off, it's nice to have another Cameron on the broadcast. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Secondly, nice to just chill with everybody. We're going to play some NCS tonight. We play our APM soundtrack every chance we get, but this is chill. We're just looking at some stadiums tonight. Geeking out over architecture, I guess.
Yeah, it's really cool to see all the designs that we can actually do for this game.
We're going to start in order here. London's on the 49ers, and Motor City's on whoever comes after the 49ers in the game. What is that? That's the Bears. All right, so we're in the 49ers park. We're going to do this in situation mode, so we don't have the intro cutscenes and all that. We'll wait for a play to go, and then we'll see what we got. Look at that. That's cool, Curtis. I haven't looked at these uniforms in quite some time, but those are sharp. Way to go, Torillo.
Yeah, London's uniforms are really, really sharp. Who else we got out there?
We got everybody. We're going to see everybody tonight. You're talking uniforms, right?
Oh, yeah.
Get close up. Oh, yeah, that's pretty sharp. Look at Denver on the helmet. All right, but this is about stadiums tonight, mostly. Taking a look at San Francisco. Of course, this is old Candlestick Park. But San Francisco's got some cool stuff. You got, well, first it's important to note you do have a midfield logo that can be replaced. It's about 10 yards wide, so it's actually pretty big. Of course, all the end zones can always be replaced, but it's looking like, Curtis, I think this is just a pattern, right? Like on the walls. Seems to be like one consistent pattern going around.
That's correct.
Yeah, go ahead.
It seems like, once the patterns are there, you find them, and you can basically put any kind of pattern you want on there for the most part.
Some stadiums' patterns are longer in size, right? So there's more to it. This one feels like maybe one of those square ones, Curtis, and I think it's one of these DDS files, and so it's not going to show up in my preview. That's mostly what the 49ers files are for whatever reason in this game. But wouldn't you say so? I think that's probably like one of those, like it's a square, right? Like
yeah.
It's that individual square, and then it's replicated. That's what I'm guessing. So keep that in mind. But yeah, lots of signage here. Of course, this stadium's super unique because it's got like this, it's got that baseball shape. But a lot of signage in this stadium. Probably, I would say, above average, right, Curtis? You've been through all these.
Yeah, I've been through some of them, and I've been through the Saints particularly, and there's only like maybe a half a dozen signs, but it seems like some teams have more signs, some teams have more different areas of the field that you can upgrade that other ones don't. So really just finding the fit for you is going to be the thing.
So you can see on the right there, you see how there's a video board, right? So that can't be changed, but that big Levi's Stadium block is one, that whole thing is its whole section. The place where the Sony that's where the scoreboard is as well. But we can design whatever gets put there. If somebody wants to put something there, right, it can be designed in a way that you could even put like the away team logo on the left and the home team logo on the right to signify the board. If you wanted, you'd have to do it every game, but it's still cool. It's a really neat space, and I feel like, Curtis, maybe that you see that that big sidewall back there, the tall one. I feel like that's probably its own texture as well, because that look it's either its own texture or it's taking the other texture and it's stretched out. Look, here's a SFL banner that we've already replaced.
That's right, NXT.
So yeah, really interesting stadium, of course. Now you're looking at. I want to see if some of these stripe patterns are really interesting. So I think you're supposed to zoom all the way in. By the way, these arrows are purple because it's a singular text file. It's a singular texture file that's shared across the league. So we will turn that back to white, but we made them purple when we did Jacksonville Stadium. But I believe I'm going to leave full screen a minute and take reshade off. But I believe that if I go into, I want to dump textures, and I wanted to see if what gets pulled here. And you're going to see a little bit of how we may go about editing something, because numbers can be edited as well. Let's see, what do we get in our dumps folder? Did we get anything interesting? So by date. Can never remember if. See, these are all the cyber faces. So these could actually, in time, these could be replaced with your actual face. And we could get those in the game as well.
And it seems like you could also get them for all the pictures that pop up on the screen.
Yeah, there's the cheerleaders if you wanted to change the color of the outfits for the cheerleaders. What'd you say, Curtis? Sorry.
It seems like you can also change all the pictures too, like the live pictures that come with the sticks.
Clear the dumps folder. Redump textures, just looking at the numbers. Okay. Gotcha. I'll do it. Those might have been it right there, but okay, we're gonna clear the dumps folder. Jason says, explain dumps. So there's textures that are just in the game, right? But dumping textures can actually dump textures that aren't in that folder. Like number fonts are not in that folder. Oh, there you go. Very, very good. Very good, Torillo. Excellent. So see, we were able to pull the numbers. Pulls half a 0, 2, 4, 1, 3, 5. So we didn't have that before. So if we wanted to change that from a stencil font to a font that matched the uniform or matched the word mark on the team, then we could do that. What else did it pull? It didn't pull the lines on the field. That's like a red. I think you may be stuck with those if you choose this stadium. Is that your thought, Curtis?
I haven't really got to play with the dumps thing. I didn't really know too much about what that was. All my editing that I've done has been just straight into folders and changing the pictures as they were, and then replacing all the pictures.
Yeah, so there's about 4,000 of those, and then like the cheerleader outfits that you saw, and then the the numbers and things. We're able to zoom in on a particular part of the field, and it essentially pulls what isn't in the ZAll folder if there is anything to pull. So yeah, that's a look at. Let's see, is there anything else in here that is worth noting? Don't think so. There's some flags up there. Somebody was asking about flags earlier today. See that American flag up there? I don't know what else is up there. Do we have? Look at all that stuff. It just see how cool that is. It just took all that stuff just now and put it in our dumps folder. What did we gain? Bunch of players that are on the field, right? All these players are playing right now, so it's a matter of pulling all those textures and getting them changed. Look, we even got somebody's glasses.
I've seen dreadlocks too.
Yeah, that's from the coach, right? I'm guessing. Is this what we're looking at here? Dreads? Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming out of the helmet, I guess. What else did we get? We got those are those the officials? Maybe it's the chain gang. It's a chain gang. Where's the vest, right? The pants?
Who knows? Maybe I'll have dreads this season.
Yeah. That'd be pretty sweet. I don't see those flags, do you?
I do not.
Here's the crowd. If we ever got around to enhancing the quality of that, but there it is. How do I dump the textures? I'm gonna hold on just a sec. I'm gonna actually move the chat. Need to move the chat so that it's somewhere close to where I'm looking. How do I dump the textures? FYI, at Simulation FL or whatever. I notice it a little easier. If you want a super chat, that's cool, but you don't have to. You can just tag. So how do I dump the textures? I go to Settings in the emulator, Settings, Graphics, Advanced, Dump Textures. Now, once you're finished dumping textures, you're going to want to turn that off because it's going to dump a crap ton of stuff, and then you're not going to be able to find what you're looking for specifically. Yeah, what is that? Are those ice bags somewhere on the sideline? Maybe.
It's like, yeah.
I see some trees or something, but they're not. So, what's interesting about this, right, is you see these, like the idea behind texture replacement is, like, let's take, it's a good example. Let's take these Gatorade towels. Like, these are pretty low, like, they're pretty low quality. I'm at 555% zoomed in right now. But if we wanted to make these higher quality, we would increase the size and just make it a higher quality image. And then you get a sharper looking image, right? So that's what we do for all the textures in the game to make it look better. Yeah, don't see any flags. So I don't know if those just, maybe they're already a texture somewhere, Curtis, but.
Yeah. Seems like every time you dump, you get just a different result. Is that correct?
Yeah, it depends on where I look in the stadium, right? So I could come over here, and it's supposed to just dump what it sees, you know? I don't know if it saw anything different in that particular spin around, right? But yeah, originally I was only zoomed in on a particular part, and now I'm kind of zoomed out on all the stadiums. So that's what the 49ers look like. It's, you good to leave?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see somebody else.
So now if you were to go and take one of those dumps and edit it and then place that dump in that folder, does it update in the game or do you have to drag it
Correct.
to a different folder?
No, that's a good point. So if we updated a dump, we would copy and paste that dump into our all folder, and then it would permanently be a texture file that you'd be able to replace. You wouldn't have to go and dump it again. So that's nice. Yeah, we're going to be saying dump a lot tonight probably, so yeah, y'all are just going to have to get over that. Okay, so we got Soldier here. We all know that, Soldier doesn't seem to be fond amongst the Bears fans. It's a very hot topic there in Chicago, but having a video game of it is pretty cool. It's a pretty interesting stadium. You want to talk about signage? You like signage? Man.
No space there.
Yeah, Chicago's got it made. around. Midfield logo again, 10 yards. Pretty good. But look at all this. Now, some of it does repeat, but it's a lot. You got all these little sponsors, and I'm not seeing many duplicates. That's a lot. And then it looks... Go ahead, Curtis.
This stadium is really intriguing to me too, because I'm looking back at all the lighting, and I wonder if you could actually tweak the lighting to be a certain color that you wanted.
Oh, right. You're talking about the like that lighting down there. You could make it like orange if you wanted. Let's see is that what you mean?
Yeah, underneath all the advertisement signs.
See how it dumped everything in this stadium? See, now I get, what is this? Gatorade cups and whatnot. It's kind of like that, right? So you would just isolate that white, and you could change the light color, essentially. May have been that. Maybe it may have not been that. It looks like we got a wall texture dump that wasn't previously in the folder. Also, too, worth noting, here's a skyline dump. So we can actually change the skyline to the skyline of the city in which you're playing. Some cities have skylines, some don't. I'm not sure when you would see it. Maybe the opening of the game. But I mean, look at all these suites. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I think that, Curtis, I think you're right. I think that one texture that it pulled was that light hue. That's the parking lot.
The advertising space and all the lighting, how big the walls are. This is a really nice stadium. You could really do a lot with this.
And it looks like the walls there's a couple different patterns, right? You've got the Bears one, and then you've got the actual like Bear logo here. So it's actually kind of unique that you get kind of two different side wall textures in there as well. This is cool. The Bears is a cool stadium. Then you've got the you can change that Bears logo up there, and that sponsor. So you have a video board, and you have a couple big spots there. Yeah, pretty nice.
If you see the tunnels all the way in the back, you can even change those. I've seen some of the things in there already where they've actually put the real tunnel in the game for different teams, opposed to what was there in 2K4.
Oh, right, because you've got like the tunnel. The tunnel is a texture, right?
It may not be all teams, but those are certain
right.
things that different teams will offer you.
Frosty says, how will you decide what team gets what stadium to customize? They will pick it, and then they will build it. You can make these stadiums so unique to your own that we don't really have too many concerns at the moment about being similar. Plus, you're going to see some stadiums tonight that, there's some things that leave a little to be desired, I guess. I was looking for the tunnel to see if it was texture already pulled or not. See, look at all this. Look at all that signage. See, here's more skyline. It must be on the intro. Seeing any tunnels? I don't see any. That's kind of the end of it.
Right there. But while you're moving on, I can find one as an example.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. We're going to get to all these tonight, so. All right, that's the Bears. Pretty sweet. All right, now we're going to the Bengals. This is an odd stadium. Should have brought some water in here. I may have to get up and take a water break.
So you could see the city back there in that one.
Yeah, poorly constructed. However, how the game came in 2023. Okay, Cincinnati Stadium is weird. This is a weird field. I'm going to show you in a minute.
One thing I noticed already is you got a 25-yard line logo, which I haven't seen that on some other teams.
So you have a 25-yard logo, and then you have a 35-yard logo on the other side, but no midfield logo.
Yeah.
So my thought is, if you had this stadium, right? Now, see, you could see whoever did this, the end zone textures on the stadium did not do it properly. See how it's all messed up? But we can fix that. That's not a big deal. But I would think, Curtis, like maybe if someone had this stadium, like let's take Canton for example, you could put like the classics, like the player on the 25, and then you could put like the Fatherhood Festival field roundel at the 35, right? Like you could make it your own, or like, you know, if you were Baltimore, you could make one of the logos like a, you know, 4-time champion logo, right? Kind of thing. It's an oddball field. So people out there wondering, like, why are we talking about this stadium like we can't change it? We can replace textures, we cannot add them. So if there's no midfield logo, we can't add a midfield logo in a stadium. But if there's a logo at the 35-yard line and a logo at the 25-yard line, then we can change that logo. Any other, Curtis, any other ideas you have of like how a team could utilize this unique field? Very different.
I mean, other than what you're saying, I would say no, you're pretty much spot on with that. What's there you can use, what's not, you got to kind of find other alternatives.
So we saw the skyline, right? I mean, you've got some skyscrapers back there that you can do, you know, something with. You know, I mean, you could essentially put any landmark back there. And it makes sense. I mean, if you were like Sioux Falls, for example, Curtis, like, could you figure out how to fit the monument back there? I mean, they have it in the end zone of their current stadium. Why couldn't they have it out there, right?
You definitely could probably do that. I'm pretty sure you can.
Yeah, I think it's just grass. This is another stadium that had... I mean, Cincinnati Stadium is really cool because it has this unique design. The walls are just black all the way around, and there's not a lot of signage in this stadium, right? I mean, almost nothing at all. There is on the scoreboards, but if you're looking for a way to, you know, kind of blanket your team and your team colors and your team identity and all this stuff, this stadium may not be your favorite. But it definitely is unique, I would say, Curtis. Probably one of the most unique stadiums in the game.
It's definitely unique. I think I see a play countdown, the clock on the end by the end zones too.
Yeah, the play clock there. Yeah, 17. And we customized that font too. All the scoreboard font is in the SFL font, right? So did that for make it look good for the league. It's a really neat stadium. It's not as diverse in its graphic spaces, but it is a really interesting field. So what is over here?
I've even seen details, like if you look all the way by the pylon, all the way down the end zone, the uprights, you see the like event guys wearing the event jackets. Like if you really wanted to change what they look like, you wanted them to look like Secret Service or whatever you want, you could really make them to look at whatever you want.
That's true. Yeah, because that event staff is just that's just a texture as well. Anything that is a photo, right? You could change the bins. You could change them from orange to red if you're, you know, if you're not orange. Yeah, there's a lot to to do with that. All right. Anything else on Cincinnati?
No.
All right. If I'm missing anything you're saying in the chat, my bad. All right, Bills. It's another interesting stadium. TJ, we're going to show all of them tonight, so do not fear. We'll get to everything. I've been mentioning the sizes of those midfield logos. Those 35 and 25-yard logos were pretty big because I can't make them bigger or smaller. They can only be confined to the space that they are introduced in. So like this Bills logo is a little smaller midfield. It's about 8 yards, I guess. The stadium's pretty cool. One of the things that makes the Bills Stadium interesting is you've got this texture with names. I think it's like their Hall of Honor. Maybe a Bills fan can say something about it in the chat. But the texture is in here somewhere. I think the Bills are out of order. You know what I'm talking about, right, Curtis? Like you could put, I mean, you could put anything there, quite frankly, but you could also put retired numbers there or something like that. There it is. There's all the Bills stuff. So that texture is here. You can see that it has the names on there. You could replace these in a higher quality, right? There's Ralph Wilson Jr., stuff like that. So yeah, they're all in here. If you had a water sponsor, you could replace the Dasani logo and put something else in there. Some people were asking about R62. There's all the officials' jersey numbers, so if we didn't want Ref 114, we could change that to 62. But yeah, on the other side of the stadium, you got these, this is what makes Highmark unique. You know, you've got these boxes, sweet boxes on the corner. So that's cool. What else about the Bills?
It looks like you could probably, on the flip side, reverse of where you're looking right now. Very top row, there's a lot of writing on the wall all the way at the top. It looks like you can customize that as well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about all the names and stuff. Now, it is repeated. You can see, like, Ralph Wilson Jr.'s in a lighter text. See how it's repeated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times? So it is a repeat texture. That's something to note. Most textures are. But if you can find a way to make that work, yeah, that's a pretty unique thing. And it's worth noting that you don't have to put names up there. You can make that blue and put, a logo background on it. Like, it doesn't... None of this stuff has to be what it is. Like, words don't have to be replaced with words. It's just a blank canvas that can be replaced.
And then just under that, there's a bunch of advertisements that are gone all the way around that. And then in between that, there are people. You can actually edit all those skybox people, too. That's why the clarity on those guys are a lot more clear than the guys below that, is because those were custom added.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. Are you talking about the people in the audience that are clearer?
Yeah, so if you look up in the higher sections, see where it's all the writing, and then right before the, like right underneath that, there's people in those little skyboxes that kind of go around.
They do seem higher quality, don't they?
They do, and I have seen skyboxes in there.
Yeah, somebody did something to that section, so that's pretty cool. Okay, that's the Bills. I'm going to go get some water, and I will be right back. I'll leave you with some gameplay. We're going to the Broncos next. The Broncos Stadium's pretty sweet, and we'll get into that why here in just a minute. 1 sec. Be right back. Curtis, you can talk to people about whatever you want.
Absolutely. So for anyone who doesn't know, who hasn't gotten into this yet, each file name in that CALL folder, it's very unique in its naming. It has a bunch of letters and numbers and all that, but that's how the game knows exactly where this is in the game. So it's very important that when you change these things, you keep that same name. When you replace these files and you save it with the same name. That's how it knows where to go and where to place these things. We're in Houston here, and if you look up in the stadium, you may be able to change those lights. You can change the pylon in the back there. You can change the padding around the goalpost. See, the cheerleaders in the back there, you can actually change all those cheerleaders.
Did the coach dump, I wonder? Just now,
You can see that, yeah.
He may already be... Here's some flags. I bet those are the flags. We'll have to look and see where those particular textures are. Oh, look at that. Some mountains.
Interesting. Some of these grass textures on the fields have been different. So does that mean you can change them individually to your stadium too? To be whatever kind of turf you want?
Correct. Some stadiums do not let you change. In particularly the artificial turf outside. Remember the Kings sim we ran? The Ravens and I believe the Seahawks have this outdoor artificial turf, and it's not a texture that can be changed. So if you don't like the color, you're SOL in that stadium. But I'm looking for... there are grass textures in here. See? Right here? That's the grass. So that's the Chiefs Stadium. And then in stadiums that have multicolored grass, there's a couple different textures. So yeah, they're sprinkled in here. And yeah, in theory, if you wanted to lighten or darken that, you would be able to. Let's see if... Are there any flags hanging? Yeah. Out here on the scoreboard. That looks like... Is that the Colorado flag over there? I think those are the flag textures. That's... Oh, yeah. There's the NFL to the right. There's the Colorado one, third or second from the right. And then there's an American flag. And then there's... What was the other one? It was... I don't know what the... Oh, it's like a Broncos flag. So you could enhance the quality of this texture, and you could change these flags to be, all team flags, or put an SFL flag or whatever. The Bronco on top of the scoreboard is an image and can be replaced, which is cool, right? So if you're in the Broncos Stadium, you can take that horse and you can turn it into something else, right? Here it is. See? Take this out and put in something else, and there you go.
to the right of that statue, if you look at, I think it's Demarius Thomas, a picture of him there.
Yeah.
That used to, it looks like it either used to be a building or just a bunch of different advertisements. But what they kind of did was go outside the box and they just put an image over it to make it look like a TV screen. So those are the things you can do. Just because you see it as advertisements doesn't mean it can't be a TV or it can't be something else.
Very true. Somebody asked about putting a ship in that spot. So keep in mind the shape of the texture. This is a tall texture. So you're looking at, maybe like a 2 height by 1 width, right? Where a ship is very long. And so it's going to be difficult to fit it in the space. But you could put an anchor there, right? Or some other kind of nautical something. And there you have it. So, yeah, really cool scoreboard function. Of course, the thing in the middle is a big video board, but all that other stuff can be changed. And if you have a stadium rights deal or whatever, like, you can put them essentially wherever you want. These are really good wall paddings, Cam. Like, these are pretty sweet because there's variety, I'm looking for them now. Well, that's the snow example, but there's essentially 4. Yeah, here they are. There's 4 different types. So you've got the Broncos is kind of split into 2 textures, and then you've got the logo. So if you notice, see how the game is stretching this file out. So the actual image has the Bronco very it's squished. And that way, it actually looks, proportioned properly when it's actually on the wall, right? And then Denver. Remember the horse I showed you? The horse had the NFL logo, the Denver, and the horse. Well, that's all of these things here. See this? See, there's Denver, the NFL logo, the horse, and then the gate is for, that's typically like a, there it is right there, right? So it's just it's for over the tunnel, right? So you change all the textures in that file and you get something different. So really cool. I mean, they not only do they have textured walls, Curtis, but they also have things to put on the wall as well.
Yes. And Jeremy Vegas says, what if you delete the horse? I'm sure you could delete the horse. I'm sure you could even put a space so the horse is not connected. And if you were, you wanted to put a jet in the sky, you could probably put a jet in the sky.
That's true. That's a good point, because it doesn't have to go to the bottom, right? It can be something that's in the air, right? So if you wanted to put a bird or some kind of, a night wing, or maybe it's just the primary logo in 3D or something. You could put it in that space as well. It's just that horse is in a place. It's in a place on a file. Whatever you put, if I put a big blue rectangle, then it would just be a big blue rectangle there. So it's all a matter of just what you put in the space. All right, good on Denver. Good signage as well on that second deck. There's a lot of spaces to put things. You can't have nothing, Jeremy. That would not glitch the game. Essentially, we just don't put anything there, and nothing will be there. That doesn't do anything. Yeah, exactly what they were saying. Okay. Now we're going to Tampa.
Oh, perfect. I was actually just thinking about this because, I was just thinking about how creative everyone's going to be, and I kind of can't wait to see. And then I was thinking that the pirate ship is such a big space. You could probably put a lot of different things in there if you didn't want a pirate ship.
That's true. Tampa was the first stadium I did. I mocked it up for Queen City. Play in here.
Perhaps that's a good stadium for Portland, and they bring in a big carrier.
I wanted to see, in our early testing, we couldn't figure out how to get the top of the scoreboard to change with that Bucs logo up there. But did we get a dump? Did it dump texture it? There it is. Aha! See? So you can get rid of that. Put your own logo up there. Okay, so going back. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
And if you notice, that was a flat design, but if you look up the board, it's bent. It's bent. So, whatever you put is going to bend around that whole space.
Another cool thing about this stadium is you got these palm trees in the back of the stadium. I'm going to go into the all folder to just showcase it to you. These stadiums are literally blank canvases. It's pretty incredible. Okay, so here it is. Here's the texture, all right? There's the palm tree. That's that palm tree, okay? So let's say that you didn't want a palm tree and you wanted an oak tree. Well, you could just put an oak tree in place of the palm tree. What if you wanted a higher quality palm tree? Well, you can make that whole graphic higher quality, and you can make it a higher quality palm tree. What if you didn't want a tree at all, Curtis? What would you put there in repetition like that? I'm trying to think of what else you could put there in repetition.
It would be tough because it's a little sporadic. If it was more evenly all the way across, I would say maybe you can put another row of stadium. But because it's so spread out, I wouldn't know what to do with that.
Yeah, but the point is that you can either eliminate them, right, or change them, and then you've got all that advertising there behind it. So then we get to this stadium's interesting because it's got those very large pictures in the corners of the end zone. But then we get to the actual ship. So the ship is interesting. You were saying that potentially you could just replace it all, but I don't. The ship is broken up into pieces.
Yeah, it's just like the end zone. So if you designed them all together, if you took all those pieces and put it in Photoshop and linked them all together and then designed it all linked, and then saved all of those pieces back again, you could basically have a whole hotel there.
Well, that is true. Here's all the banners, right? So if you wanted to change what the banners said, you could. I did this was the first stadium that I did. I wanted to show because some people haven't seen it. I did up the ship to be more Queen City-ish. See? So I was able to change the colors and change the ship banner and stuff. This was very early on in the process. All those houses back there, you could make those higher quality, right? You can make all that higher quality so that it doesn't look so blurry and bad. And this was actually taken back in August. So you can see how things are blurry. We didn't know what we didn't know, but see if you can enhance the quality of this space, and then it won't be so dirty anymore. It's a really neat space. Queen City comes to mind, but there are other adaptations for the space as well. There's flags up top there, too. I think it probably should have pulled those as well.
Yeah, I could see Portland here. I could see Florida. I could see San Diego. It's a really nice stadium and a lot of space to edit.
Not sure what that guy is. Somebody on the sideline, maybe. Here's some kind of Bucs flag. That may be it. All right. Cool stuff. Tampa Bay. All right. Oh, this is cool. All right. We have 2 Cardinals stadiums, Curtis. I wonder if Chris Curtis is getting upset with me that I'm saying Curtis and not talking to him.
I think we should have had all the Curtises on here.
Hmm.
Make it real interesting.
That is interesting. We should. Curtis, if you're listening, shoot me a DM, we'll get you on. All right. So this is the old Cardinals Stadium. By the way, it's worth noting, to make this more complicated, some teams share textures. Like Indianapolis's numbers are outlined in the blue, I think, from like maybe the Panthers or something. And so that's really frustrating. But the league will iron out all those technical issues and what we need to do to make sure that doesn't happen on game day in the coming months. But, you know, this is a really oddball stadium, right? Just really interesting. Worth noting, no midfield logo, no logos of any kind on the field except in the end zones in this place.
Very small advertising space, too.
Yeah, small advertising space. There is some, but the walls, you know, you've got these weird... I mean, you do have the side walls, but then you've got, like, these, like, concrete slabs. Which you may be able to edit that into your own color. Probably, right? It's just an image. You could theoretically change the color. But see, if you put, like, a pattern on it, it's going to duplicate that pattern, and it's going to look awful. We actually, Cameron, one time we said, oh... what if we could put the SFL logos on the field grass outside of the, like, on-field grass? Well, that's patterned as well. So we ended up with, like, 2,000 SFL logos. It looked like a carpet from hell. It was crazy.
Awesome.
So yeah, the old Cardinals is a little, it's unique, but maybe a little bare bones. So let's go to where is it? I could have sworn that I guess it is the Zoo Dome. All these other stadiums, they're all the same. I think it's this one. Let's see. How many viewers we got right now? What are we pulling? 66 for a late night? That's not bad. See, now we've got the new Cardinals Stadium. This stadium's pretty sweet. They took the Created Teams Stadium and then they retrofitted it for State Farm, I guess. All right. So this one does have the midfield logo. And it's a pretty sweet space, man. It feels real big in here.
Yeah, that definitely looks pretty big in comparison to what we see in some other stadiums.
4 tiers. You've got the metal. You've got the flags up there, right? If you're a champion, that's a great place to put some championship banners, right? Look at all that signage in that end zone. I mean, you could make something, to your point, Curtis, about the ship, right? Imagine if you made all of these ad pieces like work together, and it was just one, like it was just two eyes, right? Just looking at you, and it was just all one big logo, and it was menacing. I mean, that would look pretty sweet.
You see that now?
But yeah, that's a cool space. This stadium is unique because it's got this signage behind the field goal poles. So someone could get a lot of publicity right there, right? You're going to see that quite a bit when you're, the kicking camera is behind the kicker. So, if you're looking at at a field goal like that, they're going to get a lot of pub there. Anything else about the stadium you want to may have missed?
No, it looks good. Definitely better than your other stadium.
The older Cardinal one?
Yes.
Yeah. But, I guess it just depends on people's preference. Skippy with the $4.99 soup. Yes. Cameron Curtis, Chris Curtis. Yeah, all the Curtises. It's a lot. But see, I've always had a struggle with Cameron Curtis because he has my name, and then he has Curtis's name. So it's like I've nowhere to hide. Cam, this Chargers Stadium is sweet.
Yeah, I was eyeing that one.
This stadium is so cool because the signage in the end zones is so unique. The way that Qualcomm was built.
I'm a sucker for all that lighting they have up there too.
Oh yeah, the lighting's pretty sweet too, and you've got all the, you have all the signage up there as well, in between the lighting. So like that's like one big image. Look at that. That's awesome. Great place to put like a team banner, and then you've got the big end zone images with the lighting. See how they put SoFi Stadium at the top? You could put whatever your stadium name is, right? Change those flags out if you wanted to. Someone was talking about flags in general today, right? If this was Mexico City Stadium, they could change that to the Mexico flag, right? And you'd feel right at home. But yeah, it's a really yes, Los Angeles was misspelled in the mod, but oh well. This stuff ain't easy. 6,000 textures or whatever. You got the midfield logo. Again, it doesn't have to be a helmet. The helmet is just the logo. You can put anything within that 10-yard stretch. Pretty sweet stadium.
Looking at the lighting there, you can definitely tell that's custom. That's not stock lighting, so you can definitely change the lighting. And I think it's really interesting what they did with the creativity of the matchup, not the matchup per se, but having the two players like that.
Yeah, it's really neat. Again, if you're like a champion, right? You could put the two championship banners there. It's going to get a lot of publicity when you're kicking field goals and extra points. Like that's a pretty sweet angle. I mean, that Chargers graphic is pretty bare bones, but compared to other stadiums, that's a very large space, right? You can do some really cool stuff with that, and you could smack talk your opponent too. We're talking about like for rivalries, Cam, like for the battle for the Golden Dog Bone, like. You could put a Motor City logo on the left, a Canton logo on the right, and make a sweet graphic, put it in the end zone. Like it would be really cool.
Yeah, no, that definitely would.
Minnesota could put like Stomp Indy and put the check engine light, and then Indy could, put like a dead Sasquatch or whatever they do. Yeah, that stadium is pretty unique. Going to the Chiefs now.
That's my favorite stadium so far was them.
The Chiefs is what do you think about the Chiefs, Curtis? It's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of the Bengals. It's a pretty unique like design, but it doesn't it lacks some of the uniqueness in graphically that maybe some other stadiums have, right?
Yeah, I agree. To me, it's more of a check and a block. I mean, over in the right there, you got a little skybox area you can customize, but other than that, it just seems more of a traditional type setup.
You do get the midfield logo. You know, you get the cool scoreboards. You got all those flags up there. And when the game is, you know, waiting for the next play to happen, it'll do like, you know, wide shots like this. So you do get to see, you know, some of that other stuff as well. It's a fun little stadium. Am I gonna get the? Can I get the red and yellow pole? See, that's something you have to consider too. Like if you just cannot get the stripe patterns pulled, it just may be something that you know, if it doesn't match you, it doesn't match you, kind of thing. We'll really have to go digging for those because those have been hard to find. Again, more buildings, you know, more, you know, like hills and stuff. You could make that you could make that image much higher quality, and it would look much better. There's the flags, right? And again, like you were saying, Curtis, like you could change these lights if you wanted, right? I don't know how it would end up looking, but you'd have to coincide with the, you know, other lighting textures, but it could be pretty interesting. Oh, that's the cart. Yeah. All right, that's Kansas City. Pretty sweet layout. You do have, oh, here's one. We were just talking about tunnel stuff, right? I think this is one. You could change that. That exit from the field.
I've even seen some stadiums where you can change the food vendor.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's like a Tampa Bay thing, right? Like they've got those outside concession stands. Here it is. Here it is. See? That's the Chiefs. If you wanted to change those doors or make it something else or whatever, like there's the texture. You just edit and submit. Yes, Ray. More than one team can play in the same stadium. All right. That's the Chiefs. How we doing on time, Curtis? What's your schedule look like tonight?
Yes.
Think you're good?
5 minutes into it.
Huh?
We're about an hour and 5 minutes into it right now. I'm good. I don't have to go anywhere.
Sweet.
Now this one is definitely unique with the roof.
It's awesome. It's pretty sweet. See how the Legion also have that light blue outline around their numbers? So that's gonna. I gotta say, Cirillo, kudos on the Florida unis. They look pretty awesome. Look at these things. I mean, how sweet is that? That's pretty epic. All right, back to stadium. Yeah, So look at this roof. Roof's pretty cool. It's like that. I guess, what is it? The four sides of it? So that's the old RCA dome, right? Like, or it's modeled somewhat after it, I guess. I like the double tier of wall padding there. Cam, did I lose you?
Getting on here, I'm just kind of like lost in these lights up in the ceiling.
Yeah, the lighting in here is pretty sweet. It's pretty cool.
I was just trying to find other little details that we could edit here, but it's kind of tough.
Yeah, this is one of those where like the most unique feature is the roof and the lighting. But in terms of like signage and stuff, it's not as in depth as some of the others, perhaps. It's a give and take with every stadium, right? Depends on what grips you, I suppose. Can we pull these numbers? Maybe I have to do what Torillo said earlier and clear the dumps folder and go in there. But yeah, there was the flag. There's a flag. Sorry if the camera whip around is giving you motion sickness. Flag's up there. It's a cool stadium. The roof is the hero,
cool.
Huh?
Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. I wonder how much of the roof you can edit.
Going down the rabbit hole, Cam. Colts. What is that?
So it looks like
It's
it's the city through like a window.
Yeah.
That may be through part of the roof.
This is,
that
yeah,
may be
that's...
looking through the clear part of the roof.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Yep. I see it. Can I get an angle of it? I saw it.
I think it's on the opposite side. Like behind you. Or it might be there.
Isn't it in the middle right there?
Yeah,
where you're
like just...
Yeah, you're looking out and you see the building. But yeah, this is definitely the enclosed part of the roof. Yeah, it's in here somewhere. It's when it gets crazy, you know?
Yeah, I think some of it gets distorted by the lighting. Like once the lighting effects are added, you kind of turn it.
Yeah. Yep.
It's harder to see.
No doubt. Still a cool place. All right, where are we going? We're going to Dallas. Switch says blue field like Boise. We're not going to go that far. We need to just get all this stuff into the game and correct before we start going crazy. Axel, can we advertise Stride Gum? I mean, they're not going to care. After looking at Stride for 10 years, I don't know why anybody would want to put that in their stadium. The old Texas Stadium is pretty awesome. That's another one with a pretty unique roof. It's also got a good stadium signage space there with AT&T Stadium.
Seems like they have video monitors at every corner
Yeah,
of the stadium.
yeah, they do.
With advertising about it too.
Yeah,
Not that,
yep.
not that people would see that a lot.
Well, they would on the, when it does the whole, like, it's 2nd and 10 and it's like, well, we can see it right after the play. It's going to see how it pans. See, you can see it there.
Oh, okay.
So you definitely see it in the transitions between plays. This stadium has really good lighting. You've got what they did is this didn't used to be windows in the old Texas Stadium, but you can see that they actually edited the texture to make it look like there's a window there, right? And so what it does is it gives the stadium a little bit of light, but that's just a picture. You know what I mean?
Is there a Twickies advertisement stadium? Asking for a friend.
A Twickies?
Twinkies.
Oh, a twin. Yeah. Well, I mean, you could put Twinkies anywhere you wanted to. Technically.
Is Doug David watching?
If he's not, he'll be watching probably late at night while he's at work. Also, too, this is another interesting thing they did. So in the new Cowboys Stadium, they have these sky boxes, or not sky boxes, but they're like field level suites. And so what they did was they took a picture of like a party suite and they just duplicated it. But all that is a wall texture. So if you didn't want that there and you wanted a logo there instead, or you wanted, a design, all you would do is replace that texture. That texture is... the Cowboys aren't in order either. But you get what I'm saying, Cam.
Now, I noticed you just scrolled by. There's custom gloves too. Like there's some teams that you can put the logo on the gloves. Just
all
like
teams, I believe. I'll tell you.
I couldn't find one for the Saints.
I
think the Saints is strictly black glove with no logo.
Okay, that's a note. Torilla's going to be working on some gloves. Here's some field textures. Where are those gloves? I was going to show you what kind of the idea was, at least for the league, for default gloves. Okay, so there's the Cowboys, right? So the thought is we would take this artwork, right? And we'll just put it on that glove. Know what I mean? Just take this image, put it on that glove, right? So now now every team's got a similar looking style, at least just for the default. But anyway, that was the thought. But yeah, all the gloves are blank canvas. Right. Someone was asking about the helmets. If you wanted if the flag was different, if the team was from a different country, you would just change it there. So yeah, pretty cool. Here's some shoe detail. Here's the Rams number font, right? So we talked before about how to change number fonts on jerseys. So this is how you would open up this image in a photo editor, and you would put a new 0 in the 0 space, a new 1 in the 1 space, and as long as it fits within the space, then it all works out. You save that texture, and voila, you have your own numbers on your jerseys. Cowboys is cool. That's like stadiums that have something unique to offer, right? Most of them do. We don't have a team in the four teams are unassigned. But just because you're not assigned to a particular team does not mean that you can't choose their stadiums. So it's worth noting. It's worth looking at these stadiums as well. First in Miami, the old Miami. Oh, pick. It's the first time we've seen that all night. I need to get rid of that crap on the side.
Now, how do you change the fan apparel? Do you know that?
So I believe... So, yes, I do know that. It's a tedious process. You have to wait for the cutscene, right? When it zooms in on the crowd.
Yep, and then dump.
And then, if your dump textures are on, then it will dump those textures and you can change that fan equipment. So here's Hard Rock. It's got some flags, although they don't show up really, super nice at night. But the lighting in this stadium is pretty unique, and the signage is good. You've got stuff behind the end zone. You've got all those skybox, sweet box stuff on that second tier. So yeah, pretty nice. It's your standard outdoor stadium, I guess.
Advertising space on each side.
Right. Wonder how those flags. This is interesting. 1 and a 3. That's from a Reno. Is his number retired somewhere? Don't see it.
I don't think so.
This looks like a fan.
Yeah, it's awesome.
With the face paint. Another fan. Here's the seats. Those were really bugging you.
Some of the Packers, you can change each stare to basically say whatever you want.
That's true. Yeah, when we get to the Packers, here's the flags. Oh, those look like all the Super Bowls they've hosted. Maybe. Boy, that's a tough ask on the quality. You'd really have to play around, do something with that. Hey, look, the numbers. See? Pull those down, put your own in. There's the cheerleaders. Again, if you wanted to change the color of the outfit, that would be the place to do it. An investor, a long time ago, a potential investor asked me, can you have cheerleaders in the game? And I said no. But now you could technically actually put a face of a person on the cheerleader, and they would be the cheerleader. I think there was a meme going around about Harish being a cheerleader. Yeah. There's the Dolphins. Let's go back to the Browns real quick, because we missed them. I was in Showcase SFL team mode, but the Browns Stadium's actually pretty cool. Although I think it is missing a midfield logo. I will have all of these stadiums time-stamped after the fact. There's some city skyline stuff back there. So if you're looking for a particular stadium, you'll be able to go find it real quick. Cleveland's pretty nice. You got the open end. Is there no midfield logo. Then you've got some skyline stuff in the back that can be changed. Not a ton of signage like at all the levels and stuff, but on the upper level there is, and then 2 big scoreboards with 2 video boards. You also have some flags as well over there, so you can do a lot with that.
If you could do anything else in the open space on the other side.
Yeah, I wonder. It depends on if there's a texture over there or not. You know.
Yeah.
But there's definitely. Yeah, go ahead.
Have you experimented, or anyone experimented? So, if a texture size, we'll say, is 800 by 800 pixels.
Yep.
Has anyone decided, hey, you know what? Let's put 1024 by 1024. Can we put bigger things in those spaces than what the normal size is?
So we have done that test. It enhances the quality of the image, but it doesn't make the image bigger. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So if you put, like, if the logo at midfield is 300 by 300 pixels, you can enhance that to 2000 by 2000 pixels, and it'll look really clear, but it won't be bigger. It won't make the logo 20 yards wide and 20 yards tall, right? So it'll stay in its same spot, but it will make the image clearer. If that makes sense. So the skyline, this one is actually pretty clear, pretty high quality, but like you couldn't stretch that skyline to go like across that entire back side. It's only going to show in the space, that it's in. That makes sense.
Makes sense.
That skyline must be grouped somewhere else, because I do not see it with the Browns. That's a look at the Browns. Pretty nice. All right. We are on to... Where are we going? This is... what is this? Eagles. I love the Eagles Stadium. Looks so good. This is one of the newer stadiums. It was built right before the game came out, So it's very, very modern looking.
I like seeing the legend right on their jersey like that in the front.
Yeah, that's all Torillo. If you wanted to do that, you could. Joshua says, can we create small cheering groups for players like Franco's Italian Army and things like that? Actually, in the Bucs Stadium, I remember because that was one of the ones that I've edited before. The Bucs Stadium has all these textures in the end zone. Let me find them. They're in here somewhere. Those are the lights. Well, anyway, I found some textures in the end zone that listed all these. They were all these different sections, and it wasn't just one texture that was on repeat. It was a bunch of individual adjustments that you could make. Here it is. See? So it would actually go on top of the wall padding. But yeah, you could change it to do fan sections and things like that. Do little Easter eggs, little shout outs. Okay, Eagles. It's pretty awesome. End zones are sweet. Look at up top. I know this is set to night at the moment, but you see that signage up in the top corner there? That's pretty nice. You've got the lighting in this stadium. Again, those are just pictures up there, right? But what they did with the lighting can really make a difference in a stadium, you know? Eagles
You
are
can
out of
definitely
order,
see
too.
it there.
Yeah. Yeah, really nice job with the lighting.
And I'm sure they could even get creative with these towers. You know, if they replaced it with other different things, or even just change the colors to match their team, it could really make a difference.
Yeah, you can change the color of that tower structure to be red or something like that. They also, that used to be some kind of banner or image, and now Philadelphia has made that into like a party suite level. So they've put an image there of those party suites. Now that image can be changed to be something else, right? If you wanted it to be, something else. But yeah, the stadium is stadium's pretty sweet. It looks like maybe the wall texture is a little plain because it's on repeat. So you may not be able to do as much with that, but yeah, otherwise, pretty unique layout.
It's definitely a nice stadium.
Stands out for sure. Trillo wants me to uncheck load textures to see what was there in the original game. Oh yeah, okay, that's a good idea. I'll do that in the next. Stadium. Yeah, to really show just how far the game has come. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, especially in a place like the Georgia Dome. All right, so here's what the game used to look like. And here's what the game looks like now. Oh, well, actually, it, I just, like, broke my computer trying to do that. But yeah, you can see, like, just all the pixelation there. Oh, come on, get off the screen.
Can you dump those
Yes, yes,
okay.
yes. So, let's actually take a look at that right now. I'm actually glad that happened. Okay, so this is what the game used to look like, and this is what the game looks like now. And it looks like there was a Falcons logo at midfield, but for whatever reason, it's not showing up. So we'll have to look into that. But yeah, you can just see like the difference in how things are today. Okay, back to full. And then you add in the reshade effects. Mike Vick is waiting for somebody. He got popped. So that's kind of weird, right? There's no midfield logo in this stadium, but there was in the old game. So we'll have to maybe, just maybe. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, Torillo. Me and you are on the same page here. Still dumping. So did it dump the midfield logo? There it is. Ah! Right? So we could get a midfield logo in there because there was one originally. Pretty cool. See, it pulled all these old numbers, which we've already replaced. Put that logo into ZAll and see what happens. Okay, I will. Let's see. There already is a file name with that name. Interesting. Maybe that wasn't the... Was that not the midfield?
Maybe they blanked it.
Huh?
Maybe they blanked it.
Yeah.
Maybe they kept the name in there and just left it blank.
For some reason, forgot to go switch it. So instead, what I can do is I can search... I'll search that file name. Well, thought I would be able to.
I think if you drag and drop and then hit compare both files, it'll show you.
Here, copy. Yeah, they blanked it. It's empty. Okay. All right. So
you're good.
Right. So this is cool. Okay. We're gonna do this live on the fly. This is Charleston Stadium, right? So for whatever reason, when they did this texture, they blanked it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you what happens and the process that I use to replace this. You can use any photo editing software of your preference. I'm going to open, where would that be? Textures. File name. Open. Oh, come on. Don't do that to me. Let's try this. Open with. Okay. It's empty. So we're going to put the Charleston logo in here. Whoops. Logos. Team. No, I'm not putting an eggplant emoji. Okay. Our Charleston logo. Now, I have to fit it within the space, otherwise it will be cut off. Alright. Now I'm going to save it as a backup. This way, if I ever want to go back to it, I have it. I'm going to go here. I'm going to create a copy. Now this is just me being extra precautious, just in case I ever need the editable file again. Okay, now I have the actual name of the file. So I'm going to go back to my textures folder and go to my ZAll, and I'm going to drag this into the folder. It's going to say that there is already a file because I already overwrote it. I'm going to replace that file, and I'm going to continue, and now it's in there. Now, you don't see the logo now, right? We're going to go back to the old game, and then we're going to go back to the new game. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. How cool is that? Come on.
That's a quicker way than I've been doing it.
Come on, Cam. You know that's
back
cool.
Out of the game. Yeah, it is cool. I had to back out of the game.
F9. F9, Curtis. Yes, F9 takes you from the old game to the new game. Pretty cool stuff. I'll make sure to timestamp that. I'm so glad we noticed that. And you can just get lost in this. We've been on this live stream for an hour and a half, and we've replaced one texture. Right? There's thousands that we can do across the league, it is going to make it so cool. So what they've done is they've taken the Georgia Dome. By the way, see what's on the see the ceiling? Did you see that? There's something on the ceiling. And I saw it in the texture dump. I'm trying to get that angle again. See that? See that yellow, blue, red stuff up there? So I saw that as a texture dump. Right there. So you could take that and you could replace those and put different like if you were the Charleston Predators team, you could put like your logos and stuff up there, and it would just replace the space, and now you've got now you've got stuff on the ceiling that is more clear to you. So again, back to the windows, right? The old Georgia Dome didn't have any windows. That's just images up there to make it appear like windows. They don't have to be windows. If you don't want them to, they can be anything you want. But Georgia Dome, all in all, it doesn't have a lot of signage, Cam. But it has a midfield logo now, and who knows how many midfield logos we've actually been missing. We'll have to go back and look at the old game to see if we've lost any along the way and can actually replace them. I'll make a correction to that somewhere, either notated on the YouTube video or in our Discord channel. Unique lighting in here too, Cam. It's like it's like catwalk lighting. That was awesome. I feel so accomplished, Cam.
You know, I've learned so much just from the stream. There's places I was like going down the rabbit hole trying to find a particular part of the Saints uniform. I had their whole uniform edited, but in one cutscene, it would show the quarterback with the old Saints helmet, and I just didn't know how to dump during the thing. So now I learned that. Yep.
Now you know how to dump textures, load them F9 to switch back and forth between the game. And all that good stuff. Okay, this is the Giants-Jets stadium. So you can see I've put the SFL logo at midfield. That's pretty nice. We haven't gotten yet to an end zone that has two different styles of end zone. I think that's Pittsburgh, Cam, and that's probably where the SFL championship game would be, right? So that we can have different end zones for the two teams participating. But we'll take we'll take a look at that here in a little bit. Giants-Jets it's a pretty basic stadium. It's got some really cool large signage up top, and it's a pretty spacious place. Big old suite deck at the top as well, and the lighting on the other side is pretty neat.
So some of these skies, are they depending on the times in the game? Can you change the skies?
Correct. So there are textures for specific times of day. Let's see. And I just have it on random now so that we can, so that we cycle through all of them throughout the night. Let's see if I can. I've seen those scrolling through, so I feel like they're down here somewhere where we've been. Where are they? Well, yes, they can. They could technically be altered, but that would be something that the league would probably do. Just because we have to use those textures for every single game. But yeah, good question. All right, well, I can't think of anything else to say about this stadium. It's good.
Yeah.
Nothing to complain about. There is a different sideboard texture. Again, they put field boxes down here, but that's just a different texture compared to the rest of the wall. So if you wanted to put something else different there, then you could. Jack asks, why are the end zones 3 different images instead of one big image? Because that's just what the game did. It can be frustrating to make. However, in a stadium build, I will show you how to make the perfect end zones for your stadium, because we have done some extensive testing on that and figured some stuff out. Jaguars next. Yeah, Christian, that's the idea on the championship game. Do it upright. Jack said, could we make, in some cases, like a simulated sky on the roof? Maybe. Good luck making that look good. Pass interference here.
I'll leave that one up to Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can figure out how to make that look half decent, congratulations. They're going to show the PI here. He's going to impede the player's ability for making the catch. Jacksonville is an oddball. One cool thing about Jacksonville is look at the bridge back there. And look at all the, like, the houses and the trees and stuff. So there's definitely some, like, atmosphere back there that you may not get at some other stadiums. But this is a big concrete jungle. It does have cool signage on the lights in the corner, you know? I mean, that's pretty unique. But, yeah, no swimming pool or anything like that, obviously. But yeah, what do you think about the Jag Stadium, Cam?
Yeah, it's definitely very, very open. I do like the skyline. I think this one allows for a complete skyline, where other ones were only partial skylines.
Yeah, let's see what we got here while you're continuing. Go ahead.
I also want to say, this is how it looks in the day. It may look completely different at night. And you'll have more textures and lights to edit.
You just kind of have to explore for yourself. Obviously, we're not going to go through every potential look. Jacksonville's out of order, too. That's very annoying. But, yeah. I do like the signage on the walls are very unique. And the reason why that's important, right, is you have more space to do more things. It's not just one pattern repeated over and over again. It's a pretty long file, right? People may be saying, like, oh, it seems like the ZAll folder is pretty disorganized. It's mostly organized, but there are some teams that are just out of order, and so it's you just kind of have to search through things. But these are all the SFL uniforms that we've already put in the game. All the logos, all the menu items, the ref uniforms that have been edited for the SFL logo to be in there. If you remember from the from our broadcast with Jacksonville and Indianapolis, here's all of the signage stuff and the signage files and all the things that we edited to make that stadium, look the way that it did. You could see that a lot of it was just all in one texture, and it's just all in the way that you, divide it out and put stuff into space. Doyle asks about the Duval flags. Are the fan flags specific, or are they random to each game. They're stadium specific. All of this stuff is stadium specific, pretty much. But you could change that Duval flag in this particular stadium to be whatever you wanted it to be. Some stadiums will have a flag of this size. Another stadium may have a flag of a different size. So, and the Jags, the Jags are Tulsa, but I actually haven't ported them in yet. Torilla, were those in the, are those in the folder? I can show people how I drop uniforms in if they're in the folder. I'm waiting for... My chat is like extremely behind. Tulsa uniforms in the Google Drive. Okay, so I'll show people how I would put your uniforms into the game if you submitted them for me that game week. So let's go to... gotta go find my discussion. Gonna go to the Google Drive we've been working in. Okay, uniforms, Tulsa. Here's all the Tulsa stuff. Oh, nicely done, Torillo, on the red fade to white stripe. That's very nice. Okay, so I'm going to take all this and I'm going to download. And it's going to zip all that up for me. So I need my download folder. And I need my ZAll folder. Here's all of my Tulsa images. These are exactly named as the Jaguar images are named. I'm going to drag that into my ZAll folder and replace. You have to run as administrator. And then I'm going back to my game and I'm hitting F9. And then I'm hitting F9 again. And now they're the Tulsa Desperados. Just like that. That is a pretty helmet. That is really nice, Mike. Great job. Look at Cam. Look at the shadow of the stadium on the helmet, right? Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, I love the reflection of that gradient white red too. Just the reflection of the helmet with the gradient combination.
I'm trying to get closer, but I can't seem to get closer on the. But I mean, you can see it. Jeremy says, "Will teams be given a master folder that is organized by teams, so we can go into those folders and change what we need instead of digging around for them?" Eventually, Jeremy, yes. Once we get all the textures in, we can start organizing. I believe Mike Daggs has been doing some organizing on some of this stuff in that way. But, yeah, right now things are still a little sloppy on the back end. Just trying to keep up, I guess. All right, we done with the Jags? Hey, we got Tulsa's uniforms in. We're doing all sorts of stuff tonight.
At the team level, keep an Excel spreadsheet with, the file names and what those files actually are. So if you're looking for a uniform, you know what those file names are, because once you start naming these things, there's so many different things to edit. It would just be so easy to actually, for teams to be able to start keeping track of that. Especially if you're a team that's spread around. If your stuff is not all together.
Yeah. It's definitely something to take into account. The good news is that after you do something once, it's a lot easier to do over and over again, right? Because now it's just, if you've edited a sign once, now all you're doing is changing what the sign says. You don't have to search and hunt for the sign graphic, right? You already know where it is. You want to save backups of all your editable stuff to be sure that you're not overriding something that you can't come back from. That's what I did, for a bunch of this stuff. Is just make sure that I have a copy of it on the back end. If I need to switch it again for whatever reason, I can do that. All right, that's Jacksonville. All right. Now, I don't have DC in because Destro's been doing his own uniforms, and we already looked at the Jets Stadium, so we're gonna go to the next stadium, which is Detroit. I love Detroit in this game, Cam. I think Ford Field looks impressive.
Haven't been able to see it yet, so we'll see.
Ethan says, can we do black helmet instead of purple? You can do whatever helmet you want. Of course, you can only. I'm still only going to limit you to one alternate logo that isn't your colors, because people that know me understand that I just think most of those are terrible. But you can have a bright green helmet, you can have a purple helmet, you can have a black helmet, you can have a gray helmet, you can have a white helmet. You can make as many helmets and combos and mix and matches with uniforms that you want. My computer is stalling on me. Why you go so slow?
Just know, Ethan, the only thing on helmets that can't be changed is face masks.
Correct. Yep. Face mask colors are, it's a whole thing. Look out, Ford Field. Look out. Well, okay, it's night. Okay, this is a bad example, but when the light is coming through these windows, it's just really terrific lighting in this stadium. See how these walls, Cam? See how it's just a small size, right? And it's just a duplication. So if you did a logo, your logo would be around the entire field. If you did a pattern, it would be around the entire field. But then you have this wall over here that's different. So every stadium has a different type of pattern with their textures. That Ford Field sign can be taken out and replaced, right? So you can put your stadium name there if you wanted, or anything else for that matter. Look at the skyline in the back. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I love that window.
So let's see if are the Lions out of order.
Back to the face masks real
Here
quick.
it is.
I don't know if you guys tried. So when you edited a helmet and you can't change the face mask, can you take a team helmet from another team that has a different color face mask and paste it over as the file for the new team with the code for the new team and get that color face mask?
That'd be a Torilla question. Of all the things that I've done, uniforms break my brain. It's just not for me. Which tells me it's not going to be for other people too. But stadium stuff might break somebody else's brain, and that's definitely for me. Here's the seats, right? So you want to change the color of the seats, right? You got all this blue in the stadium. If you wanted to change that to red, right? That's how you would do it. You change the seats. But this is really neat because you've got the skyline in the back there, right? And so you could change that to be, your city, and then it would show up in that window. It's really something. Cool roof. Yeah, I love this place. It's a nice field. The field is like this kind of weird, like olive green. I think you would be able to find that texture and change the color of that field, but not all field textures do exist. So it's something that that you would want to test out for yourself if that was something that really mattered to you. Good on the Lions, Cam? Sweet. Face mask colors locks team spot. Oh, yeah. Okay, you already saw that. See, I'm so behind. All right, we're on to Green Bay. Going back to the stairs comment from Curtis, right? Because let's say Louisiana did want to use the stadium. I'm not saying they do. But if they did want to use the stadium, they go, oh, all the yellow is gross, right? Like, I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want any of that yellow. All those stadium steps, you see how it's 21, 22, 23, 24, 24, and then it starts over again? All that can be changed. You can change that yellow to something else. You can. So if you like the design of Lambeau Field, but you don't like the fact that there's all those stairs are yellow and there's all this Lambeau Field signage everywhere, that can all be taken out, and you can put something else in there. Or the color can be changed. My computer was doing great for the first nearly 2 hours of this broadcast, and now it's like crawling. Let me see what's going on with it. Let's see if I can clear some stuff out here.
I think one of the things I'd try to change off the bat is that big building to the right. Seems like that can get more modernized. But they do have a lot of advertising space at the end of the end zones. You can do a lot of customization on all those rows to get the colors you want.
Right. And then you can
seems like tunnels you could edit. Yep.
Change the gate, change the tunnels. Yeah, you're right. I mean, these suites, they look pretty modern, look pretty nice. But yeah, this building over here, that's like the press box or something. Yeah, you could probably make that look a little better. I
would change that to a big billboard or something.
Yeah, I do see the names up there. Probably not gonna up on the the yellow names.
Yeah.
That is a texture of some kind. That could be a place to put championship recognition or retired numbers or things like that. See, here's the stairs. So you can change the color of the stairs. You can change the green on the sides. You can change the green of the seats. Here's the yellow gate that's around the stadium, right? So you can change that. See these world championship things, right? You can change that. I was looking for those letters, but I don't see them at the moment. It's getting late. We can move on. Green Bay? Green Bay.
You go.
Carolina. The Panthers for me, Cam, they're kind of like, oh my gosh, is it, I mean, what are you doing? Is it because I'm in full screen? Like, calm down. Maybe it's because I was in full screen. I'm gonna zoom out here. There. Panthers for me are kind of like the it's kind of like the Bengals or the Chiefs, like it's okay. You do get some skyline stuff. That's pretty nice. But like, it's kind of it's basic. If you like that sort of thing. And you do get in-zone textures that are different from the rest of the stadium. But it doesn't look like the stadium textures go all the way around either. So, what do you think?
Yeah,
Cam?
you get some skybox space on the other side too, on the right there.
Cool scoreboards.
Looks like even up in the top deck over on behind you, there's even like another skybox up there too, like all the way up top to the right. A little bit more right. See up there?
Yeah,
there's something up there.
That's cool. That would be like a coach's film room or something. But yeah, you get a nice big skyline there.
Maybe that could be Vegas. Big Vegas skyline behind there.
Could be, yeah. That would be pretty sweet. You get all the you get the strip in there. Yeah, that would be fun. Can I find the Panthers? Can I find that file? Where are you? Maybe a dump or somewhere else. Carolina. So I would say the biggest thing with Carolina is you get this really big, nice skyline space. That's probably its greatest asset. Already showed Chicago Patak. You can go back in the video and check it out. Patriots.
I live an hour away from this stadium.
Nice. Okay, if I lose the emulator, it's just because I'm trying to figure out. Okay, well, I have a note for what's causing my computer to slow down, so I'll take a look at that after we get off air. Because it wasn't doing that earlier. So sorry about that, folks. Okay, Patriots. Pretty neat. Not a lot of places for signage outside of scoreboards, but the design is pretty spectacular. You know, it's all just kind of blank, but the end zones are really, really cool.
Yep, I wonder if you can edit to the room in that big space there. There's a hotel there now. It's like a 5-story hotel.
Yep, you're right. There looks like there's some buildings back there.
And then the opposite side, it shows a skyline too, which is Patriot Place normally.
Oh yeah, through the
directly behind you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Through the spaces, you've got some trees, and you got some skyline stuff there as well. That's editable. Patriots. The lighthouse is pretty sweet. Who could utilize that? That could be a Portland thing, right? For the fleet, perhaps.
Could be.
This is the Raiders, talking old school, without the plumbing problems.
I wonder how editable their fans are. Considering the Raiders are known for their fans.
Right. Queen City looks pretty great. Their socks. Got some flags. The big scoreboard up there. The advertising there in the corner.
Those poles, do they go up the signs all the way back? Up top?
Lights.
Oh, lights.
Yeah. Got kind of a little press box over there. I mean, if you like old school stadiums, and you're an old school Raiders guy or gal, like, be pretty sweet to play here, you know? But in terms of other stadiums, you know, where it ranks and what it has to offer, you know, I would say it's probably slightly below average in terms of, like, signage, but it's not bad. There's still a good chunk of it out there. Got some trees peeking out from behind the stadium there on both sides. Anything else you want to take a peek at?
Maybe the trees could be a Yeti's head.
Oh,
Minnesota.
That's
peeking over the stadium.
That's a cool idea. So you would take the tree out, and you would make it. You would put like the Yeti, like his hands on like either side, so it looks like he's climbing over the top, and then you got the face and the eyes poking out. That'd be pretty sweet. What about Tulsa with their alternate like crossed guns logo? Right? Could have.
Oh, I can see that too. Yeah.
You could have the end of the barrel poke. What else could you do in that space?
The Yeti climbing over would be so freaking cool.
Yeah, that's a pretty good that's a pretty cool thought right there. I like that. Now LA's the Rams. I know that Rahman has already been doing some work on his stadium in here. It's just kind of perfect for them. It's quite blue. The roof on this place is pretty sweet. The lighting looks real good in here. Percoco says, "How many domes? How many domes, Cam? How many domes?
Oh.
You've got Rams.
My guess is 6. The Colts, the Falcons, the Saints,
the Rams. So that's 4. Cardinals, 5.
Is there one in Texas?
Oh yeah, the Texans, Lions. No, there may be up to 10, perhaps, to choose from. But this place is pretty sweet. I mean, it's got signage and multiple levels. You've got the different places in the end zones for stuff. You've got the press box up top, and then you've got this. It's almost like that new Raiders roof, right? It's like the translucent roof, and then you've got some pretty cool lighting. It's a nice place.
Yeah, it is a very nice place. Biggest selling factor on a dome: no wind.
You know what I like what they did here? Look how they made, and that's true, Curtis, because there is wind in this game, and we can make it blow hard. Oh God, I'm going to be mean for that. But you see how they put pillars under the roof? It makes it look like SoFi. You know how they have all those big concrete columns that support the roof, right? So they gave it that sort of look, which is pretty cool.
I really like the mid-stadium design space all the way around.
Mid-row stadium. Are you talking about the Rams stuff up top?
Yeah, all the way around, and then toward the end zone you have stuff. It just seems to go all the way around.
Yeah,
like big space.
I agree. There's a lot that you can do with that. Also, even just in between, look at in between where the people come into the stadium. You see that Hyundai logo, and then the Rams logo. Like, that's editable too. That, you know, where people come out from the concourse and into the stadium. They're at the top of your screen at the moment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that.
So yeah.
And all that press box people down bottom, that's editable. So you could have more advertising space down bottom instead of the people.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Because that's just insinuating a field level suite, but it's essentially just a picture that you can edit.
This field may have more customization than a lot that we've seen.
Say again?
This field might have more customization options than a lot of other ones we've seen.
Why would that be, the Rams field?
Because it's at all different levels. You have it on the ground. You have some.
Oh,
in the middle.
yeah, for sure. Just in total, absolutely. I went the wrong way. Now I'm gonna start over. Seattle and Vegas. So this is the. We're not going to spend too much time in this stadium because this is the one that we've already edited. This is the Ravens Stadium, but it has all of the Jacksonville components in it now, which is what you saw on the broadcast.
I don't want to say anything, 'cause if I do, I might say the wrong words. Oh no. So I'll keep my mouth shut and not listen. Afraid I lose you if I didn't.
Prococo wants to see Ford Field. I've already shown it. You can actually just go back in the video, and I'll have it all time-stamped after the video's over. This is my first time seeing Vegas's unis. That's pretty sweet. But yeah, we've been here before, Curtis. Yeah, we totally retrofitted this. I think I made a mistake. You see that white bar above the video board?
Yes.
I think I did something wrong there because it didn't always look like that, and the proof is in F9. See? What I must have done is I must have edited that top, like, facade, I guess, and I must have, like, made it black, but for some reason that didn't take or something. Yeah, so that's gotta get cleaned up. But yeah, we've already been here. I was also noticing, see that Ravens back there? I missed that the first time behind the lights. See what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even see it back there.
It's backwards. See, top left corner behind the lights.
Oh yeah, the wording, yeah.
Right. So I'm wondering. I wonder if that's a dump. Because I didn't.
Oh, there it is, right there. I think. Go down right there.
It is. So you could change that too. So it looks like it's RAVENS, like it's all like discombobulated. But if you wanted to change the text to say, you know, what's a team with 5 or 6 letters? Storm, right? Like, or you could change it to the I and dump the, you know, just blank out the rest of them. So that was a texture dump. We didn't catch that in the initial stadium build, but that's something that can be changed too. Just little stuff in the back. And I think, see back there, you can see into the town. Top of your screen, in between the scoreboard. Yeah, so that can be adjusted too. Okay. Vegas, which is Washington. Ah, the purple numbers for Vegas at home. That's pretty. That's going to show up really nice on the broadcast. Alrighty.
So it looks like a lot of personalization on the
yeah.
walls opposed to repeating.
This place is pretty cool. Yeah, there's no repeats on that scoreboard. And then on the walls, it definitely looks like there's a lot of, I guess you have Nike and Geico kind of repeating. But you also have all these flags and all this color. This stadium just has so much great color, you know? If you changed all this to your team color, you would really personalize it quite good.
Big advertising spots,
Yeah.
nice flags.
Yeah, huge. And not just like ho-hum advertising spots too, like really good sizes and good quality space there. Anything else?
Looks like the stairs might be editable in between too. The quality on those are pretty good, so it must be editable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could change those to, if this was Vegas Stadium, you could change those to purple if you wanted, right? I like stadium. This has 4 tiers, right? Like you've got that third really small tier, but it's still like makes it feel full, which this stadium has not looked full in a very long time, so it's nice to see it full. So like this stadium
that stadium.
This stadium has the NFL logo at the middle, right? So it has the SFL logo at the middle. Technically, that can be changed to your logo, but it will also change other midfield logos in the game. So it's just something that we're going to have to get organized with, on the back end for the league. So. We have not shown Aloha Stadium yet. So here we go at Caesars. You were talking about this earlier, Curtis. This place is pretty special. That's another dome. If we didn't get it earlier on the list.
Now, some of these domes, can't you pick if you want the dome opened or closed?
I don't think so. At least I haven't seen an option for that. These Sparrows unis have the Steelers logo on them, but we've already updated that. I just haven't updated the files on my end. But yeah, tons of opportunity for customization in the end zones here in the Saints Stadium. And going back to your point about editing the tunnels and such, you can see like it's almost like looking back into the locker room back there. And then you also have the tunnel, right? Like it literally looks like it's going like back into the locker rooms. So they did a really nice job with that. It can get kind of empty on the sides, but your end zones are where it's at around here.
They have a few good advertising spots, but a lot of them are just small rectangles.
See the banners, championship banners up top? That's another good place to put that if you're a team that's won some titles. All in all, it's one of the older domes. It doesn't have, vibrant lighting or anything, but it's a very, it can be a very scary place to come play. You know what I mean? I could see like a nemesis in here. You know what I mean? It's just a very imposing building.
Yeah, I could see that. Domes are going to be popular with the wind.
Damon, you can create as many uniforms as you want. Let's see the Seahawks. So the Seahawks are so frustrating because they have this really unique stadium that we all, can appreciate from an architecture perspective, no matter what team we root for. But they have the same outdoor turf that we haven't figured out how to pull that texture, and we don't think is possible. And so you get this artificial green color in the stadium. But if you like this green and don't mind this green, then Seattle Stadium is pretty unique compared to others. Hey, look, a toss play that just went for 13 yards. I mean, I don't have to tell you how cool that is. I mean, you get all the skyline stuff in the back on both sides, right? I mean, it's quite a substantial skyline.
Yeah, that's very nice. It's all open too, very modern. If you're trying to be really unique with your team, this is definitely the stadium.
You got the tall roof, and then on this side, right, you've got the really cool lighting. Can I see a little bit more of that, please? I guess that's about as good as I'm going to get. But, yeah, really unique stadium. You've got the signage in the corners. And then, of course, the unique end zone. I don't know what is going on with the empty space there. They, put brick there? You could do something better with that.
Maybe a little waterfall.
Oh.
Some kind of water action.
Oh, I like that. Or, if you're Vegas, lava. Right? You had the
lava.
That's
true, yeah.
You had the lava in the old stadium, right? You could have lava flowing over there. If you can make that look good. Yeah, really modern, really, really cool stadium. But, yeah, that turf, man, is it could be a deal breaker for some because it's tough to look at. Day and nighttime skyline picks. No, I don't have those for individual stadiums. Sorry, Axel. And I just have everything on random so that we can see the combination of lights and nighttime lighting, daytime lighting, stuff like that.
Frosty Dimes is saying, could teams have two stadiums?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think it's going to be that. I think two teams, same stadium.
Two the same. Yeah.
I mean, all the teams are going to do so many unique things with their. I mean, yeah, you can piece two and two together, but it'll be. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, and at least trying to get everyone in is such a challenge to get everybody on the same page and into the game. The league is not really focused on pitting teams against each other and having them fight it out for stadiums because we need to build these things. We can't just wait until all the teams decide, when they're all going to get together to build a state, to choose a stadium. We just need to, get teams in, as soon as possible so that we can get it released on time. So that's the priority. Damon, we have not shown the Texans Stadium yet, so that will be coming up.
Look at these uniforms. I like that.
Jeremy says, I don't want to load in the game, and people say, oh, that's obviously, this NFL team stadium, and that's true. Lumen is so unique that it doesn't look like yours. It looks like the Seahawks, and that could be something you don't like. So Pittsburgh's probably going to be your home for the SFL Championship game. It's one of the few stadiums, maybe the only stadium, honestly, with the two different types of end zones. So you have Pittsburgh in one end, and then you have the stripes in the other. So what that allows the league to do is it allows the league to put the championship game logo at midfield and then put the two team end zone designs on either end of the stadium. Pittsburgh also has some great skylines, which will allow the league to place specific team skyline or something like that in there, perhaps.
Maybe an SFL headquarters building.
Yeah, like an SFL headquarters. Yeah, just something something uniquely league related. Put like the SFL Hall of Fame back there or something like that. And then you've got the big scoreboard with all the signage and stuff, and really, really great lighting. One thing that is not as noticeable in this game, just looking at it through replay, is the crowd seems pretty lively in Pittsburgh. Like there seems to be more movement out of the crowd. I don't know if that's just it's because it's a motion texture but not a picture texture. I'm not really sure, but that's just something to note on your own. The stadium is it doesn't seem as big as the others. But if you're going for, if you're like in a smaller market and you're looking for kind of a smaller town feel, this is definitely something that may be interest of you. And if you really want to have end zones that have two different things in it, right? This is also a stadium that could be of interest to you as well.
Now, since the Steelers won a lot of championships, do they have banners in the stadium anywhere? In the old one or the new one?
Yeah, I'm looking around. I don't, at least in this particular rendition of the stadium, I don't really see that. But honestly, in every stadium, there's a place to put and recognize your championships. It's just all about how you do it, Because you could easily take those Snickers signs out and put the recognition there, if you wanted. If you've retired, 5 numbers or 5 jerseys, right? You could put them all in those spots if you wanted to. So Torilla, the ketchup bottles are not on there, but I guess they weren't ever on there. So yeah, wasn't a texture thing. I think it was in 2K5, but it's not worth it, as we know. All right, good with Pittsburgh. Oh, there's like what you were talking about, Cam, with like the outside vendors stuff. Like looks like there's some vendor things over there, perhaps.
Oh yeah.
All right. I think this is the Texans now. The Texans Stadium. Damon was asking for NRG. I think the domes in this stadium look great. They're just so unique. And the lighting is really unique. And the window openings. And Houston in particular has a lot of uniqueness in its upper decks. We'll get a look at it here. So you've got, it looks like, it looks like is the roof open? Just by default? Kind of looks that way, Cam.
Yeah, it does. But I wasn't sure if there's a setting, like, when you can go in with
Yeah.
weather and
Yeah.
before the game.
I wonder
don't know
if
you
you-
can open or close.
Yeah, I wonder if you set it for rain if they close the roof. That's something I haven't looked at. But, this is another one of those 4-tiered stadium seatings. You've got the windows on all 4 sides to let some natural light in. It definitely looks like it's open, but it's still really cool, the fact that it is. Yeah, I wonder if you close. I wonder if it rains, if it closes. Lots of suites in here too, and then you've got this long line of customization on the second tier. It's like sponsor galore. And they're going to repeat like Mattress Firm. else is it? Mattress Firm, right? So it does repeat, but there's still quite a bit of area. It also looks like the wall art it's got a couple of them, right? So it's not just one thing repeating all the way around the stadium. Yeah, pretty cool.
Very sharp looking.
I think we have one more. That would be the well, we have the Titans, and then we have the Vikings, and then Aloha. And that's it. Aloha shares some textures, so not quite sure how that's all going to go, but we'll figure that out on the back end. I've done the Titans Stadium. I put Carolina in it. You'll see on the guide that I put out today, the phase 1 sheet. You'll see that you'll see some of the Skyhawks, but I did it in 2K5, so I have not ported over all that work yet to this stadium. But I mean, Tennessee, outside of like the old school scoreboards, which is, you can just litter with advertising. I really like the ad space in between the suites there on that kind of third deck, and then their art on the sidewalls is pretty unique and detailed, right? There's 4 different designs and patterns for Tennessee, and so they've got some pretty impressively detailed signage there on the wall that you can tweak, mess with. There's some more vendors back there, right? Those buildings are kind of basic, Cam. You could really do those up better, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Same on the other side. The lights are cool. Is that a dump texture? Can you change the... I wonder if you can change the color of those poles.
Warning, Neo detected. Warning, Neo detected.
I wonder if you got rid of all those buildings on the side, you could put like an aircraft carrier with some people on or something.
So you could change the color of those, the light poles. Now, what are we looking at?
Instead of having all those buildings in the back, you could probably have like, if it's the fleet, you could probably have an aircraft carrier sideways behind there, like if it's a bay right behind there or something.
Let's see. Here's some skyline stuff. Tractor. I'm looking, and they may be in the Z-All folder actually. Those buildings. My guess is that they're individual pieces, right? It's not all one long thing, but like you were saying, if you connect all those files together, you could do something unique and interesting. So that's a look at Tennessee. And then we go to Minnesota. I wonder, Tarillo, if Minnesota's in the same situation with the midfield logo, because we were like, man, I can't believe they don't have a midfield logo. Their stadium is, their roof is pretty unique as well. No Copyright Sounds has lost its mind. I don't know what this song is. Thank God it's over. Yeah, Minnesota, just an interesting. It's like it's They what they did was they glassed it to make it look like the U.S. Bank, the new one. But it looks like it's nighttime, right? Because there's not really getting a lot of sun. Let's see the. Oh no, they didn't. They didn't have a midfield logo. So this is one of those stadiums that does not have a midfield logo. If you were to select it, we cannot put a logo at midfield. What do you think of this?
They don't even have the 25-yard logos either.
Yeah, it's just it's barren. Look at how this game used to look. Look at that. That's what it used to look like, and this is what it looks like now. Is that like that blows my mind? You can really tell from this screenshot. Like, look at the roof. See how they made it modern by glassing it? They took those panels and they glassed them. But like, it's crazy. The old Vikings font is much better than the new one, in my opinion. That is very much nostalgia. But yeah, the game is people may say the game looks like it's from 2003. That looks like it's from 2003. This does not. Pretty cool.
I can't imagine all the work it took to glass the top of that roof.
Well, the interesting thing is that it's in panels, right? And then the panels just duplicate. Now, there's obviously like some different sections, so maybe it's but to your point, Cam, like they had to make the first graphic look like glass, with all the lines and all the windows, and yeah, just to make one panel, probably took quite a bit of time. So it's another great, unique stadium, but you lose the 50-yard line logo. Can't do it. So keep that in mind. I will not be going through them again, but they will be time-stamped and archived in the video. Okay, so now we've gone through all the stadiums except for Aloha. Yeah, I'm going to go through it once over through. Oh my goodness, it's 11:30. Hustle and Nothing, yes, but it's back in the video, and I'll have it timestamped later, so you don't have to sift and search. Good run, Sean Sanders, going to work. So obviously, this stadium has unique end zones as well. A lot of this, did it all get dumped? Yeah. So this stadium is another kind of candidate for an SFL championship game or something, or if you wanted multiple end zones. But you can see that there's these Washington Commanders things that go above the stands. But, so there are some shared textures. But again, the league will have to work that out. I mean, it's a cool stadium. But it is, it is pretty bare bones outside of the end zone, outside of that one end zone. But it is neat, and it does give you double end zones. So it does have some appeal for sure. There's that ESPN thing is the tunnels over here on the AFC side. This also looks like one of those artificial outdoor turfs, right? It's got that green, unappealing hue. What do you think of this, Cam? I mean, lighting's cool. It's imposing, but it's just a little stripped down, I guess.
Yeah, I think
Kind of
it's more
reminds
on
me of the
bare bones side,
Bengals
too.
again. Huh?
Yeah, it's more on the bare bones side, I think. It's good. It's a good, probably good for like an all-star game or something.
Yeah. Great title game spot for sure. You got some skyline stuff in the back, so you do get that. So the last thing, last thing I wanted to do was I wanted to see if they would close the roof there in the Texans stadium. What do you think? What's going to happen?
I can see the roof being closed when it rains, like you said, but I'm not sure. You might be able to say close the roof. I guess you can't. I thought it was going to be here.
I just don't see it. So let's see. Let's find out. Well, it's not raining, so I guess you can
Is it
call it.
though?
I guess you can call it a translucent roof, because it's not raining. So the game obviously reads it as being inside. So essentially you just get a lot of natural light in there, and it's not going to rain on you. So, okay, so all these created teams, they all play in the same stadium. And then we got, so that's the Zoo Dome is the new Cardinals Stadium. We saw the old one. Then we Georgia Dome, Ravens, Bills, Panthers, Bears, Bengals, Cowboys, Broncos, Lions, Packers, Colts, Jags, Chiefs, Dolphins, Vikings, Patriots, Saints, Giants, Jets, Raiders, Eagles, Steelers, Rams, Chargers, 49ers, Seattle, Bucs, Titans, DC, Cleveland, Houston, Aloha. I think we hit them all, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, well, that is your stadium tour. As SFL teams ponder where their new home might be. Tomorrow night, we will have Drew Riley and Mel Davis here, and we're going to build a couple playbooks according to the new rules that were released earlier today. You can catch that out in the Phase 1 launch guide, and see how that all plays out on the field. And, then in the future, we'll be putting in some rosters, putting in some teams, putting in some stadiums, seeing some SFL teams in action with some books. If you're interested in building a book according to the new SFL rule specs and you want to send that in and see it on a broadcast, I just have to load up the file and then play it. So it's easy enough. And then if some teams may build their own stadiums by the time I get to them, some teams I may build for them. I know that I will at least build one stadium so you can see how we go through each and every stadium and make it totally custom to SFL. The first league, Curtis, I want to say we're probably the first league of any kind outside of the NFL to build a game with its own teams in it. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an awesome thing. I can't think of anyone else.
So, super excited for that. And yeah, final thoughts, Cam. Take us home.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of options people got to look at, as far as what meets their team, as far as advertising or the looks or what just fits their whole brand all together. Um, and creativity is really going to be key. I'm interested to see what everyone can come up with.
Well, we are looking forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Thanks to Cam Curtis for keeping things interesting here with me, so I don't have to just talk to myself for 2.5 hours, and you got to hear a different voice on the broadcast tonight. And it was good hanging out with you, Cam. We don't get to hang out as much as we should. Good luck in Canton the rest of the way, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. Kick it. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on.